Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Cristina and I come to you from Lisbon, Portugal. Today I'm here to talk about books. Soon I will record another video to talk about my crafting journey, but today I want to talk about books. And I'm going to show you some books I chose to read this year. And what I did was, first of all, I haven't recorded any video about books for some time because I think I told this before. I was in a big slump this past year, and one of the reasons I noticed is because of wanting to participate in everything. It's kind of a disease in me. So I get over enthusiastic with everything some channel proposes, and I want in everything, and then I get burned out. I think that's what happens. So I decided this year that I wasn't going to participate in any read along. But it's tough because people are always proposing lots of interesting reads. For example, I saw Vince from I don't remember his channel name, but he's with other channels. They are doing Historathon or something like that. That they already started some years before, but they are continuing this year, and I love history, so I want it in. And I immediately started compiling lists of books that I might read. Then I saw Emma from The Bookish Princess and the books that she's going to read this year, and I said, oh, I want in. Then I saw, and so on. I'm not going to elaborate more, because then I noticed that you're doing it again. You're trying to cram all these books in your life, and then you will be burned out. So I stopped and I said, I'm not going to. But it's very difficult because immediately after I thought about this, Greg from Another Bibliophile reads, and Mark starting talking about Sherlock Holmes, which I love. Even recently in December, I listened to the recording of almost every short story. I just skipped. I read. I also listened to The Valley of Fear, but the rest I just listened to the short stories. I'm sorry. I think I'm not used to talk now, and so my throat is getting dried. Anyway, so what did I decide to do? I also don't want to spend money in books because this year it's going to be a tough year as far as money is concerned. So what I decided to do was go through my physical books and pick 12 books randomly. The only thing is that there are books that I haven't read completely, and I'll tell you what I mean by this when I show you the book. So these are 12 physical books that I intend to read this year, that I would like to read this year, that I'm going to try to read this year. Whether I manage to do that or not, we shall see. I, of course, am also going to read ebooks because I have many ebooks, and I also am going to listen to audiobooks. But today I just wanted to show you and to talk a bit about the 12 books I again, randomly picked from my library. And they are not in any particular order because I already moved them around several times. So the first one is number one, let's say it. It's the Picture of Dorian Gray, which I remember starting it several times, but I don't. Again, this is what happens with these books. Many of them I read bits, I think, but I don't remember reading the whole book. So that's why maybe I read some, I don't know. But for me, it's going to be as if they are new books. So, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Then, George Orwell, 1984. And by the way, these books actually are books that I bought, I don't know, last year, the year before last, during the pandemic. I remember that I used to go to a bookshop, browse the books, and bring one. These are part of this. For example, 1984, we were supposed to read it in 12th grade. So I remember reading bits, but not the whole book. I'm sorry. To Kill a Mockingbird. I have the book. I have the audiobook read by Sissy Spacek, I think. But I might have read half of the book. I don't know why. I have this book. I bought it many years ago, but Oliver Twist. This is a book I bought in second hand, and I don't know when I decided to read Charles Dickens novels in sequence. And I read the Pickwick Papers, and I don't know if I read something else. I don't know, but I know that the next one was Oliver Twist. And but then I stopped. I read many other books by Charles Dickens. Two that I love, I read not many years ago. I read Bleak House, and I read Our Mutual Friend, which are two novels I enjoyed very much. But I want to get back to the reading them in order, and I'm going to read Oliver Twist. Again, when I chose these 12 books, it was to put some order in my thoughts about books, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to read any other, because I might want to read and I'm going to again do what we call mood reading. And although I picked these 12, they are a kind of orientation for me, so I know what I'm going to read next, but I might read other books. I hope that because I'm not going to be constrained by all the read-alongs and things that I want to participate, maybe my wish to read and will come back. Not that it has ever gone completely away. When I say I'm in a slump, is that I start reading books, I read half a book, and then I feel some pressure and I do something else, okay? So, I'm never not reading. The thing is, I am reading bits here, bits there, and not completing anything. So, I'm going to continue. Okay, now I've had this big book for many years. So here it's the Chronicles of Narnia, the 7 books. I read the 3 first books and then I stopped. I don't know, many years ago. So I want to restart. So I'm going to read from the 1st to the 7th, the order the author intended the books to be read, so not in the chronological order, and then that's it. I very much want to read this. I'm very curious about the books because they are such classics and I have never read them all, only the first three. This one, I remember that 2 or 3 years ago, again during the pandemic, I think it's the 23rd of April or something like that, was World Bookshop Day or something like that, I don't remember. And I said, oh, I should go to the bookshop and get a book. And I went there and there wasn't anything that appealed to me. And I found this one. It was a pretty new one. And because the title had the word library in it, I decided to bring it home because I love libraries. I love books and books about libraries. I had no idea what this was. And so I bought it. And actually, this was the first one I picked on the 1st of January, 2 days ago. To start, I am just reading bits at night when I'm in bed. And it's interesting because it talks about how our lives are, in a way, guided by the decisions we make. And even sometimes the tiniest decision is important. So, and when we decide, our lives move in a certain way. If we had, at certain points in our life, chose a different way, chose something else, our lives would evolve differently. And that's, at least until now, again, I'm in the beginning, what this book is about. I'm not going to say anything else because I don't like to spoil what people, if people want to read the book. So this is the book, the first book I'm reading from the 12th. Then comes a classic. I read lots of, this is my book from when I was at university. So I had to read this at university, but I know that I skipped many parts, okay? And I want to read it well. So it's going to be a slow read. Sometimes it's a slog, I know, I remember, but I want to read it from beginning to end. The next one is a book I don't know. I think I read it, but I don't remember. I don't remember reading everything. I remember reading it, but I don't know if I finished. And as I don't mind rereading, I'm actually a big rereader. This one I started last year and I read until okay. I'm going to restart it when it's time, but can you see? I read it until here and then I stopped, I don't know why, and I never picked it up again. So I'm going to restart this year. Oh, this one is a massive book I want to read. I remember finding this book again in a bookshop. Oh, here it is, a bookmark. So this is a bookshop here in Lisbon that sells second-hand books in English. And I always love these classics and I bought this one. It's Vanity Fair. This one I'm sure I never read a line from it. So this is going to be again a big endeavor, but I like big books, so I don't mind. I was going to say maybe I'll read it in March for March again. I'm not going to participate in anything. if by coincidence someone is reading this book at the same time, I would like to talk about with that person, but I'm not going to enroll in anything. Although I'll talk in another video about something I'm already reading, but it's audio and ebook and things like that. This one, I read the first book. I also studied this at university, and I don't remember reading the second one, the Through the Looking Glass, and so I'm going to read both as if it were only one book. Okay, I love this one. It has the original Tenniel illustrations, and I love it. Finally, the last book is again one of the books I bought from the bookshop nearby when I went there just to bring a book home. And I remember in BookTube lots of people talking about this book, saying wonderful things about it. I have no idea what's about, and I like it that way. So I'm going to read Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. And those are the 12 books I intend to read. So they are all books from my library, and those are the 12 physical books I intend to read this year. Again, there will be many others, I'm sure. Again, if my reading coincides with any other reading, great. I do like to participate in the conversations, but I'm not going to enroll in anything. Oh, actually, I am. In August, I'm going to participate in Faulkner in August, but we are going to read a book, reread a book. So it's not, these books are, again, as I said, not rereads. I'm always rereading, so I'm sure I will reread many other books. And this August, for me, it's going to be reread. We are going to read As I Lay Dying, and it's a great book. I at least find it a great book because, again, I like books which have a narrative which is not linear. Either because it has lots of viewpoints or because it goes forward and backwards in the narration, any other artifices in a way that a writer can use. I like them. They are a little bit like puzzles, and I like to solve puzzles. So I always like these types of books, and As I Lay Dying is one of those. So, but I'm not going to talk about that now. I came here only to, in a way, get back into BookTube. Some days ago, I was in a live with Greg from another bibliophile reads, and Alan from, I don't remember the name of Alan's channel. It's about, I think, big books and classics, but I don't remember the complete name. I'm a mess. I'm sorry. But I love to talk with them about books, and I have always loved to talk about books. So I hope to be back in BookTube talking about books, but without pressure. That's what I want to do. Okay. Bye. And if you read any of these books, please tell me, and tell me what you think about them. I'm curious.